What's up, y'all? This is Andy Story with Wild Lumens, and today I'm going to show you how to make liver hamburgers. Everybody could probably use a little bit more liver in their diet. And the reason I'm gonna say that is I honestly and truly believe liver is the ultimate superfood. Everybody for the past, 50 years have said that spinach and chard and kale is a superfood, but that's just a ton of vegetarian propaganda, and we've been lied to for so long. The true superfood in my book is liver. And that's why I try to put it in my diet as much as possible, especially if you're trying to go for more of a nose to tail ancestral diet approach. I have hamburgers and cheeseburgers in my dietary rotation quite a bit. However, when I add the liver to it, it kind of changes up the taste a tad to where you're not getting sick of just eating the same old hamburger day after day after day. The other cool thing is I just recently made some chicken liver pate and beef liver pate, and the liver that I have today is actually from when I made that a couple of days ago, actually 2 days ago. So this liver here is ready to go, ready to be processed and put into some hamburgers. If ancestral diets and carnivore are something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now, because that's going to tell me that I'm doing something right. And what I want to do is share my experiences and some of my expertise with you to help make that journey a little bit more easy and quite possibly entertaining. One other thing I was going to say is you might want to check out a video I made prior where it was a chicken liver versus beef liver pate challenge. I went in and made both of those, and at the end I had a special guest, and we both did a taste testing to figure out which tasted better, chicken or the beef pate. So let's go over what we're gonna need for this recipe. Tool-wise, you're gonna need a food processor and a sharp knife. As far as ingredients, we're gonna need ground beef. This ground beef here is really high quality. It's sourced from a regenerative farm in Northern California called Belcampos. It's totally grass-fed, tastes amazing. The fat ratio is 80-20, so 20% fat. The other thing, I already made some sauteed onions. Now, if you're a strict carnivore, definitely, you don't have to worry about putting the onions in. I, however, every once in a while, as a carnivore dieter, include onions or spices, but not on the regular. That's a whole other story because I have a sensitive stomach and there are times when it does give me a little bit of problems. One last thing you'll need is some salt. I usually prefer Redmond sea salt. This salt here is not Redmond's just because I'm trying to go through the rest of it, but it's definitely a sea salt. The other thing you're gonna need is the liver. And this liver here, this is about, I would say, a half a pound of liver. I already chopped it up, and so this is about a quarter. Our recipe today is gonna say that we need a quarter pound of liver to about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Now you can go ahead and play with that. If you wanna add a little bit more liver, by all means do so. This ratio here works for me. I'm just gonna go with that today, and then I'll do something else with this liver later. All you gotta do is prep your liver for the food processor by cutting it up into little chunks. I usually do anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch in size, just so that it's a little easier on the food processor. And if you've noticed, the food processor I'm using today is probably from the early 80s. It's still working like a champ though. Let's go ahead and place the liver in the food processor. And then we'll go ahead and add the onions. So here's our onions. I went ahead and sauteed these already. These are sauteed in a little bit of grass-fed butter as well as some extra tallow that I had just to add a little more fat. You can never get too much fat, at least with my diet. So now we can just go ahead and mix. That's pretty much it. You don't want to get it too pureed. I leave it a little bit on the chunky side. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the consistency is definitely a little chunky, which is cool. Now all we got to do is get yourself a nice mixing bowl and get your liver, get a little spatula and go ahead and spatula this out. With your hands, you can just kind of mix it all together. It's a little sloppy and slippery, but it is what it is. You can go ahead and add a little bit of that sea salt. I just did a whole tablespoon, which should probably do the trick. And then go ahead and get that salt mixed in. One of the biggest challenges on a carnivore diet is sometimes not getting enough salt in your diet. A lot of the carnivore doctor proponents like Dr. Paul Saladino and Dr. Sean Baker are usually recommending anywhere from 5 to 10 grams of salt per day. I have a super secret weapon when it comes to hamburgers. It's the hamburger press. What this does is make perfect hamburger patties. Usually the consistency is a lot better than having to rely on your hands, and you're gonna speed up the amount of time it takes you to make a bunch. So all you gotta do, get a little ball about that size, put it in the press, go ahead and press it down, lift up, and you got yourself a nice little patty. They're a little, once you add the liver in, they're not as consistent or not as durable as if you were just doing regular ground beef. It's a little bit stickier and the consistency is it's a little slimier. Okay guys, I got the burgers ready for the barbecue, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the barbecue going. We'll head on out, cook these guys up, come back in, do a little taste test so you guys can see the amazing expression that I'll most likely have on my face. All right guys, check out these burgers. 8 beautiful burgers cooking away, about to get eaten. Back inside from the barbecue, we're gonna go ahead and do a little taste test to see how they came out. As you can see, that's a glorious pile of hamburger, if I've ever seen one. With liver, I should add. It tastes pretty good. You can taste the liver. It's not to that point of eating a raw liver, or it's not overpowering the taste of the hamburger. The reason is because I added a little bit of that salt, and I did add the sauteed onions in tallow and butter, so you get a little bit of that coming through. Let me do another one. It's kind of like having a hamburger, but adding a bunch of vitamins to it. Why eat a multivitamin when you can just go ahead and put a little liver in your burger? It's the way I look at it. What do you guys do? Is liver part of your diet? And if so, what kind of recipes are you digging? Do you make hamburger with liver in it? I'm just curious because I'm always trying to expand the amount of recipes and ways to make meat-based meals. So shoot me some suggestions below. Also, if you're interested in an awesome cookbook, go ahead and check out the Carnivore Cookbook by Primal Edge Health. Jessica Haggard, who's very good with the whole cooking situation, she wrote that book. I have that book. I use that book. And if you're on the carnivore diet or any kind of diet that's heavy in meat, I definitely advise that because you're going to start to run out of interesting things. But that book has a ton of stuff, a ton of knowledge, and so much useful information. So go ahead and check that out. I'll put the link below for that as well, and you'll get inspired. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and make another video, and I'll see you on the next one.